Hello, it's Prince Ezzy, and as usual, I have a couple things that I want to talk to you about. Okay, so let's get to it. Right, NagaRace activity. Yeah, what is the Naga? Yeah, the Naga is basically serpent, cobras. Serpent. That's a Naga. And it's more precisely related to people who were basically hybrids of every sorts and kind, but basically most of them were hybrids of snakes, so snakes and people. So this is just one of those races that contacted humanity back in the days, right? So if I say the Naga race, then I mean the serpent seed, right? So they have created this oath, right, that I have seen circulating on the interwebs, that I think it has come up in my radar for no reason, and when that happens, it's usually a clear message that I should address this particular situation, right? And for those who have fallen victim to this scam of these beings, right? Yeah, because I know the people that I'm going to be addressing, they know the existence of such things that I'm going to talk about. So let's talk about oath, and what the Bible talks about it. Well, the Bible basically says don't do it. Just let your yes be yes and your no be no. Isn't that much simpler? It's asking for integrity, right? Integrity. Okay? It's more about integrity than the words. Okay? Because we are flesh, right? Then do we condemn ourselves to punishment just because we broke the supposed oath? Okay, most people don't understand this. What we believe is actually in part generally what our judgments will be like on a personal level. What we believe. Do we see God as merciful, or do we see God as vengeful, or do we see God as hateful? That is important, you see. That's why it's important for the devil to have control of perception within people, right? So as a final trap he springs, he make this oath that most people don't really know what they're doing, what they're talking about, And the oath is basically summarized in these words, right? WWG1 WGA. Where we go one, we go all. Okay, where we go one, we go all. So basically, the fate of one person will be the fate of all of them. Okay. So if they're in the battle, right, and they're equally matched, whoever defeats their opponent first, then the rest, I don't know, have to yield or whatever. I don't know. It's a complicated oath on the surface, they don't know what they're talking about. They think they're patriotic or whatever, but they don't know what they're talking about. But if you dive deeper and you examine what it really means, then I'll go out as usual. I do dive deep. So you must use my peoples, use my herd, and I'll protect you in whatever ways that I'm exposed to, right? So, before we proceed, take note. Energy crisis, war, children, love, right? Diseases, crime, terrorism, dominance, cyber attacks, right? Okay, so you take notes of these things. They're just a few things, just a few examples, right? I call these devices. Okay, we call these devices. So when you see me, I don't know, not see me particularly, it's another word. Okay, so we have to like design linguistic terms for okay, but what I'm saying is, when you hear me, okay, talking about devices, then you understand what I'm talking about, right? So let's get to the pictures as usual. I think they're better visual aid, right? So, right, let's start with this movie, right? What's the device in this movie? The device in this movie is children / love, right? Where we literally have a Jewish woman who set her Jewish sister up with a black man who she even calls a monkey in the movie. It's the funniest it's the funniest stuff ever. Okay, and she's actually disgusted that her sister has to have sex with the monkey, and they're basically holding his child hostage and asking him to do more and more elaborate things in order to basically end his life. Okay, of course that sounds familiar. That is literally John Wick, right? They took his wife, his car, his dog, his house, and his friends, and of course at last his life, right? So it was a trap by the high table. Okay, so the high table is basically the beast, right? And Gal Gadot, this woman here, is basically setting up this guy, right? The prince. Okay, now this applies to not just me. Okay, this movie is basically about one person, the prince, of course, but it's not just about that, you know. It's more about efficiency, right? It is hard work to convince the entire world. It's much easier to convince one person who is the leader, who is the inevitable future leader. So it's like they're trying to simplify their whole mission, right? So let's talk about this movie. The eyes, of course, you know that he's a hybrid, right? Gold eyes, blue eyes. That is a symbol in itself, right? The eyes, of course, symbolize crossed bloodline, right? But I'm going to talk about the revised version of the movie, right? So what is the device in this movie? Energy crisis, right? This guy in this movie, he plays as an alien, right? who needs this woman to complete a device that would help save both worlds, right? Okay, that would save both worlds. And of course they have conversation about the horses, right? He says that horses in his world are actually predators. That's a funny remark. That's a funny remark, because she prays as the prince, and he plays as the devil, right? That's why he has a mortal wound, a mortal wound. So energy crisis is the plot device. There's energy crisis in both of these worlds, right? So the whole plot was to convince the girl to commandeer the help, to forget about the differences, because in reality this guy is in disguise. He's wearing a mask. He's not his true form. He's a liar. He's a shapeshifter, actually, right? He's a shapeshifter. I don't want to ruin the movie for you, but you can go and watch it for yourself. Okay, but I'm just telling you the plan. Okay, and this membrane here, this membrane between them, this membrane separating them, why does it exist? And why are they trying to make contact? This is all about contact. This alien contacts the first human, and they need each other, but there is a veil. A veil is their differences, right? Now their differences need to vanish by, I don't know, urgency or fear or whatever. Okay, I'm just pointing out some. So let's talk about the oath. So it is, this book is in Enoch, Enoch 6. And when you go to paragraph 4, it says, and they all answered him and said, let us all swear an oath, and all bind ourselves by mutual implications, not to abandon this plan, but to do these things. Then swear they all together and bond themselves by mutual implication upon it. Okay, so this is what it means. Before that they were talking about punishment. He said, you can do this. He was trying to convince them, you can do this, but I'll just take the punishment myself. But they say, no, we take the punishment, all of us. Okay, that's what WWGMA means, right? So we talked about this movie in the previous video, right? In this movie, what's the device? What causes the two families to meet together? A cyber attack, right? The cyber attack is what caused them to come together, right? In this movie, what is the device? Okay, creation of AI, supposedly. Creation of AI broke the world into two parts, right? And this guy was basically stuck between them, right? His girlfriend was the maker of AI, but he was basically an officer who was supposed to destroy the resistance of the AI, ordered by this woman here. Okay, so it's a whole movie. How do they do it? Well, this is a multifaceted movie. Okay, first, the device number 1 is, of course, a creation of AI. Device number 2 is actually this woman and this guy made a child, and this woman decided to make a face of that child, this one. Okay, making it harder for him to kill him, right? Because now she's gone. So he basically has a change of heart, just like in the movie the one with Will Smith, yeah, I, Robot, yeah. It starts off, he hates robots, he's all emotional about them, right? He's all emotional about them, right? He hates them. But later on in the movie, he learns to sympathize with them. It's exactly what happens to him, yeah? He gives them hugs, and it's a whole weird situation, yeah? Now I will break down why they have this hole here, yeah? Why have this hole? And of course, why do they have the moon? The moon is wearing, yeah? This child is wearing the moon, yeah? The moon. Why? Okay, we have talked about the moon, right? So this is just another cover of that movie, right? Between two pillars, yeah, we have the master of war himself. Yeah, he's the commander of the group, but it goes horribly wrong. Yeah. So let's slow some pace. Yeah. Metallic can see through grays, glare, haze, and even black ice, and can also be used to identify verification, identify artificial faces, and recognition of cancerous skin growth. Metamaterials. Yeah? This is what the future is, people. Metamaterials. Basically things that they thought you cannot handle. Now they're just giving it to you. How about that? Metamaterials is a general term. It applies to a variety of things, right? So yeah, let's see what's in the horizon, right? So little context about the where we go one, we go all, right? It's basically related to this group here, yeah. Okay, most talking about the Second Amendment stuff. Okay, you get those people, right? It's a whole group, it's a whole movement. Okay, now some of them are in it, some of them are not. Okay, so yeah, and the symbol of this group is basically a frog. A frog. So we know the beast is connected with frogs, right? Because he's going to copy the last Moses. Yeah, he's going to copy the last Moses. Copying the last Moses. Or copying the last Noah, even. Yeah. So, more context. Yeah. You can pause and read it for yourself. Okay, but let's focus on their core belief is that a cabal of satanic and Kabbalistic child molesters are operating a global child sex trafficking ring which conspires against Donald Trump. That's the whole purpose, to protect Donald Trump. Yeah, in the dark corners of the internet. Okay, most regular folk do not even know what this is. Okay, but it's a whole situation. They call themselves digital soldiers. Digital soldiers fighting for the devil. How about that? Okay, now I don't care if there are people or not, they're still gonna get hit unless they figure out that they shouldn't be taking oaths from people and they don't know. Okay? Followers believe that Trump's administration secretly fought the cabal of pedophiles and would conduct arrest and execution of thousands of cabal members in the day known as the storm or the event. Okay, they are waiting for the event, right? So they are waiting for something big to happen that would cause the whole system to go haywire. Then they would execute their situation or their quote-unquote retribution, right? Maybe a whole continent cyber attack, perhaps. Yeah, that would close down everything, right? Yeah. Normal politics won't work anymore. Trust me, it won't. Okay, and just like a phoenix, like they like to use this terminology, from the ashes they will rise. So whatever the consequences, this is what they are saying, no matter what God throws at them, they will rise from that. Okay, that's why we are creating, just like Noah, we are making our boat, because the world is gonna get hit and it's gonna be wild. Let's just say that. Okay. So in other news, Pumapunku. Okay. There's a lot of questions that are unanswered. Okay. But since I've seen this guy's video so many times, these rocks here, which are actually that rock, okay, they basically have a magnetic phenomenon where the poles shift when you put a compass in that pocket over there, right? And they don't know how they actually did it. How about that? It's not a property of the stone, it just does that on its own. Okay, and you can see him demonstrate the angles. Okay, they might seem distorted, but okay, what they are claiming that they were built by gods is actually true, because those gods were not appearing and disappearing angels, though. They were creatures, okay, hybrids of reptiles and horses and every sorts of animal, okay, pig face people or whatever. Okay, we know that movie Johnny in the West, right? We have that guy who was a pig face, and he's a person, you know. So that's what the Nephilim look like in the while they were roaming the earth, right? And since it's gonna be like the day of Noah, and me being Noah, me telling you, you need to board the ark. You need to board the ark. Let me tell you that. Like I've said again, you need to board the ark. You need to leave Babylon. Okay, it's not safe for you. Okay, it's not going safe. It's not going to be safe for you, right? While the entire world is going to be erupting, we're going to be fine, right? We're going to shake a little, but we're going to be fine. So these beings are coming back. Okay, that's why these people have left this evidence. Have left this evidence and not destroyed it like they have done the rest of the temples across the world that had high technology that would make us even question our very existence. Right? Like, if we had the ability to do this back then what happened to humanity? Did we somehow regress technologically? Now they cannot have people asking that questions. Yeah? So since we find the evidence, we ask the questions. Yeah, what happened? Okay, and this site in particular, it is burnt. Okay, it is burnt. In my theory, it is lightning. That's my theory. Lightning did this. Okay, it melted the whole situation. You can look at the videos of this place through the guy's channel on YouTube, right? And of course, more talk of facial recognition, yeah? As if you are able to know age by just looking at the face, you know. Yeah. You need training models, okay? So if you say that you have achieved such feat of technology, being able to recognize age of any person, then you should be able to show us the data set of how you are actually able to determine the age of a person through a camera or depth sensor or whatever. And I guarantee you the data is hacked or it has been begotten illegally. So I don't think we should be handing these people more data to begin with. Okay? We need to slow down on the digitalization of stuff. Okay, we need to slow down on the analog cable. Yeah, that is the best. Okay, no matter what. Cable. Yeah, so if they want to cause a panic, they know where to cut the cables. They have submarines. Yeah, they have the technology. They can literally cut the cable to an entire continent. Yeah, it's literally cable wires. Yeah? Okay, the amount of waste, the amount of waste produced by these solar panels after they die, after this solar farm, the space is insane. What these people are proposing, and they know it is insane, but it's not about the thing. It's about warfare. It's about economic warfare, getting you, convincing you. So they're putting you in a corner that even if you question their incentive, they can show you things like this so that they can force your hand for you also to take action, to choose what they chose, knowing that it doesn't work. It doesn't work on a small scale, sure, but not on a country like Tanzania. How many of these do you need to power a country like ours? If we shut down the natural gas or whatever, how much space? Where would you even put these? I know. I've thought about ways. This is only applicable in small scales. Small scale. This is only applicable in small scale, right? Where you have maybe panels of windows of, I don't know, flats. Yeah. You line the panels with solar. Yeah. You get the energy at least to light the floor, just the lights. Everything else maybe runs on normal power. Just tiny adjustments, just tiny things to lower the consumption, yeah, and to lead people to consume this more of this free energy. Yeah, it's just free. The sun is free, right? So how about you make these panels cheaper, that people buy them? Things like that. This is impractical. Literally, this is impractical and stupid expensive in every respect. Right? more nonsense. Yeah, they didn't. Did these people say that the whole thing was missing? Did I make it up? We saw it here together, right? Now it's back, and now it has water, supposedly. People, come on, wake up. Okay, wake up. Okay, now I went to the interwebs, and I was like, okay, fine. I was looking at trying to read, EU, stop, dive. This is Germany, I think. Die Finselengag von Colored. I don't know, man. Okay. Ulaya, zungumzia kusitishwa uhamishwaji wa Wamasai katika ardhi ya babu zao. Okay, this is what this Masai lady is saying, right? EU, stop funding colonial conservation. Right? Mwingine Masai hapa anasema, EU, speak up to stopping eviction of the Masai from their ancestral land. He's saying like the other Masai, yeah? How their babu zao, right? And this one here is in, I don't know, French. Yeah? Financier la conversation. Colonna. I can't even, man. You know what I mean? Right? It's not the highest resolution, I'm sorry. It's a screen grab or some, They're basically pleading the EU to stop funding the eviction, right? Now, here's a challenge, I want this woman here, this woman, and that woman there to be interviewed on TV. You can do it, or we can do it. Just make it easy for us to access these people. We need to ask them. Maybe we need to hear their perspectives. I'm interested to hear their perspectives, right? Because I've been hearing some theories about Ngorongoro and this and that, but really I've not been able to make sense. Maybe they can show us this colonial, like this guy said, what? Colonial conservation. Yeah? Referring to the Ngorongoro situation being conserved pre-colonial times. So that's my challenge. So your move. So I hope I made my point. Okay, so the deception is quite easy if you know the what, the devices. You know what? The devices. Right? Now the world is in a verge of war. The superpowers are fighting. The only thing that can stop these superpowers is another superpower. Maybe an unknown superpower that can, on record, interfere with nuclear weapons and silos, causing them to malfunction. They're doing the expose right now, as we are speaking. They're doing their expose of quote-unquote ETs. Well, that's a device right there. War. The world is in the verge of World War IV, or World War III, or V, or I don't know. Something need to happen. We need to be saved from our own decisions. Now, when we combine this whole picture with where we go one, we go all, It's like them spiritually tying themselves to you and tying their fate to yours. As I've said, they are trying to go back to heaven, right? They're trying to go back to heaven. So they're basically intermingling with humanity, because most Christians carry this negligence of the devil in their minds. They do not apprehend what happened during or before the flood, or what Enoch has written down. They literally ignore that. So they tie their fates to devils. So if they go to hell, you go to hell also. Right? These devils are not stupid, yo. You know? This oath was not in vain. It means something. Okay? It means something. Yeah? It means something. So you better take care. Okay? We shall see each other when we see each other. General Easy signing out. Bye. Love you.